Hey guys, Aubrey from Bold here, and this is Mike Tracolo. We're just going to wait a couple seconds, make sure the live stream is good to go, and then we will be even Steven, ready Freddy. That was the wrong expression to use there. That's okay. Okay, guys, I think we are ready to get started here. Welcome to Bold Black Friday University. This is our live webinar series where we are teaching you all the ins and outs about how to run a successful Black Friday campaign. Black Friday is the Super Bowl of marketing events if you're running an e-commerce store. So we here at Bold want to make sure that you have all the tools you need. So we talk about stuff like email marketing, which we're doing today. We're going to go over how to sell with multi-currency. We're going to go over how to set up sales. Tons of this good stuff. We'll be covering it through this whole live webinar series. So be sure to tune in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm here with Mike Tracolo. He is our resident email expert. There might not be a single person in the entire building who knows more about emails than Mike. Mike is going to be joining me today. We're going to talk about some email marketing techniques that you can run over BFCM. So if this is your first time joining us, a couple housekeeping things. For starters, there are quality options in the bottom right. I might not be pointing in the right direction. Bottom right corner of the screen. You can use the gear icon there. If the stream's lagging or whatever, you can change it. You can always go back and watch the stream after, so we'll be posting a link to the video to watch on demand. So if you missed something, you can see it there. And then the last point I have is you can ask any questions you might have in the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen, and we'll do our best to answer them as they come up. It might take a couple minutes, but we'll get to you, okay? So without further ado, Big M in the morning, let's talk about email marketing.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I think it's important to get out off the top that I think email marketing as an e-commerce store owner is the bread and butter of your marketing campaigns. You can run social media ads. Those are sometimes a little difficult to track the effectiveness of it. Email is like the easiest way to get in touch with people because email is almost integral to the e-commerce experience. You know, if I put an order in on my store, I have to get an email with an order confirmation. I have to get an email with a shipping confirmation. So from every single customer who ever buys from me forever, I have their email address. So this makes it super easy to remarket to those customers, to kind of nurture those customers along as they continue to make purchases from me. And it really helps to, I think, grow and improve your conversion rate. We're going to talk about some ways you can do that today.
And I think one of the most important things about email, specifically when you're marketing to your customers, is that they've given you permission to talk to them. You know, Aubrey, we were talking a little bit about Facebook advertising. You're trying to reach a certain demographic of people. Maybe they haven't engaged with you personally. Maybe they've just been retargeted on your store. Email marketing is full reins to communicate with your customers. They've given you their email. They've said, yes, I want to hear from you. I'm already interested so far. Let's take it to the next level. So you have absolutely 100% full reins to reach out to these people. So it's an excellent, excellent opportunity to send them direct information, to keep them informed. They want to hear from you. So now it's time for you to give them what they want.
Yeah, I mean, just to continue plugging how effective we think this is, like there's so many different things you can do with email too. You know, a lot of us think about an email marketing campaign from my favorite store, for example. So I might get an email from that store once every 2 or 3 weeks that says, hey, we're having a great BOGO sale on. Come into the store sometime. But there's so many other different campaigns. It's not just those one-offs. We can run things like onboarding campaigns. We can run abandoned cart campaigns. We can do marketing in the receipts that we send to customers. Like there's so many opportunities. And particularly leading up to Black Friday, you know, customers are getting a lot of emails from a lot of different stores letting you know what their sales and their promotions are going to be. And so it's really important that you kind of plan these out in advance, make sure that you're going to set yourself apart from your competition. So I think the first one we'll talk about is the promotional email. So this is the first type of email we'll touch on. So as I just mentioned, you know, tons of stores, if you give them your email address, whether they're brick and mortar or an e-commerce store, will send you an email every few weeks, maybe every month or so, that lets you know what they've got going on. So this is either a new sale, maybe a new product, a new line of products for them. They send these periodically just as kind of a one-off. They're not a particular campaign or anything. They're just letting you know what's new. So what tips do you have, Mike, on store owners that want to run this kind of campaign for Black Friday?
So the promotional email is also, I don't know, it's referred to as a bunch of different things, whether that's a bulk mailer or a seasonal email. But this is the email that's going to be going out to your entire email list. So one thing that I just wanted to mention right off the top, a few of the emails that we're going to be talking about today, some of them are transactional, whether that's one time. A couple of the other emails are going to be automation, which allows you to send emails based off of triggered events, whether that's somebody signs up on your website or does this or does that. Those are going to be the automated ones. This is going to be one that you're just free range to send out whenever you want to your entire mailing list. It's going to be a promotion. So you can honestly send a promotional email out once a month if you just get creative. You know, whether that's Black Friday or Cyber Monday, or down the pipeline you've got Christmas, you've got Valentine's Day, you've got Halloween. Any traditional holiday where, you know, a store might come up with a sale, it's a really simple way for you to get your product in front of your customers. They're already expecting them. They're probably getting them from 80% of the other companies that are sending them emails. So they're expecting them. So this is your opportunity to either maybe come up with a creative sale or at least showcase some of your products. And it can go either way. You can showcase a new collection or a featured product, but this is going to be going out to your entire mailing list. And then, you're going to be wanting them to ultimately direct back to your website. So obviously having a link in there that's going to send them back to your website. The promotional email is also very good for those Black Friday sales. Whether that's that store-wide flash sale that you're already running, you could probably even send this email in the next 2 weeks to prime your customers. Tell them what's coming. You know, you should by now have a sale in mind or some sales ideas for Black Friday. So this is your opportunity to get them excited and rev your engine a little bit about what they can prepare for and what's to come. So it's really great email to do that. As we mentioned, what we're going to be doing today for a few of these emails, most of these emails, is saying, here's what you should be sending, here's the logic behind it. We'll be telling you when you should be sending that or when the trigger should be, and then also maybe giving you some subject lines, because as everybody knows, a subject line is, you know, it's 80 to 90% of what people believe that they're going to click on something. So you want to make it engaging and you want to make it relevant to what the email that you're sending.
Yeah, for sure. Mike touched on a bunch of good points there. I think one that I think is worth reemphasizing is, you know, we call these bulk mailers a lot, but that doesn't mean they have to go to your entire list. So when you collect someone's email address, usually you have a bunch of information about that person, right? Not always, but most of the time. So for example, if you're using a tool like MailChimp, you can know what they've purchased if they bought through Shopify. You can know how many times they've purchased, whether they've opened other emails to you. So if you're using a lot of marketing automation tools, which we'll kind of touch on later in the webinar, there's a lot of opportunity to send very targeted emails. So that means that not everybody's getting the same message, and instead they're getting kind of a tailored communication to whoever they are, and we think they're going to be more likely to convert that way. So we've got a couple ideas of emails that you can send over Black Friday. Again, without knowing your specific store's plans for promotion, maybe you're having a super sale, maybe you're just having kind of a minor 5% discount store-wide, or even just a discount code that you're planning on sending out to your most loyal customers. We've got a couple ideas of subject lines. So I think before I get into these, the keys about a subject line are, the subject line is what makes customers read your email, right? We talk in email marketing a lot about two different rates. There's an open rate and a click rate. So the percentage of people who actually opened your message, and then the percentage of people who actually clicked on it and did something with it. The subject line is what drives the open rate. So if you don't have a good subject line, customers aren't going to click on it because they don't think they're going to be interested in what's in it. So you really have to make the subject line flashy. You have to make it actionable so the customer knows what's going to be in that message. And you have to keep in mind that if you're seeing open rates that are a little lower, maybe you need to look at your subject lines and see, if I was a customer who had 10 emails in his inbox in the morning, would I click on this specific one? Would this be worth his time? Because your customers are busy.
Yep,
You know, you
that's for sure.
got to think about that stuff. So we'll talk about some ideas for subject lines now.
So, and it really is dependent on what you are trying to accomplish. When I think about a subject line, I also kind of think about it the same way I think about it as a newspaper headline or maybe a blog title. This is what's going to get people's attention. It's the first thing that they're going to read, and they're going to make their decision on whether or not they want to follow through with that. Are they going to read the rest of the article? Are they going to continue to read that news story? Are they going to open this email? So a few subject lines that we've used in the past, or at least some of our clients have used in the past that have worked. Very, very basic stuff, right down to the button. Flash sale alert, shop now, save big, starting now, 25% off everything, 10% off all your favorite items, 3 days only, 15% off, also free shipping. It's just really getting to the point, and it's really in your face stuff, so that way people are going to see it, they're going to know what this email is all about, and they're going to go forward with that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing to take away from every single one of those is, again, it tells the customer what's in the email. So if they saw that in their big list, you know, again, if they had 10 emails that were sitting there in the morning and they had to choose one to look at, you want to make sure that yours is the one that they click on because of the subject line. Like, it's such a flashy subject line that the customer says, okay, I got to know what's in there. I got to learn more. So that's the promotional email. Again, it kind of depends on what your store is doing for promotions. Maybe you're not having a huge Black Friday sale. Maybe you're having another, you know, a very big Black Friday sale. You got to think about what goes into that, and then send a couple promotional emails. We would typically recommend sending one of those maybe, a week before, and then one during is probably a good start off.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's always helpful before Black Friday to send out emails before the actual day, because customers plan how much money they're going to spend. So we want to get those emails primed and ready to go. Send them an email a week before-ish. Let them know, listen guys, we've got this 25% off sale. Be sure to come to us for Black Friday and check out all of our great deals. And then as it's happening on the morning of Black Friday, we want to hit them with another email. Hey, remember we talked to you a week ago? No? Okay, well, we're here. That's okay.
Yep.
You know, and then get them into your store that way. So that's the promotional email. That's probably the most basic we'll talk about. Tons of great stuff to go along with that.
Yeah, for sure. You can even take that one step further too. Aubrey mentioned a little bit about automation. Automation allows for you to send emails, whether you're scheduling them or whether they're happening based off of certain events. Send them one reminding them, send them one the day of, and then even send a last one. I know that this one always gets me every time, where I get an email that says 1 hour left or 2 hours left, or it's providing that last minute opportunity for them to actually capitalize on that sale. You know, they know about it, then you sent it to them on the day of. Sure, they still know about it. Then there's that last minute 1 hour sale left. Maybe you up the ante and say, you know, buy now and we'll incorporate free shipping or something like that. But that scarcity in that last minute email is also going to go a really long way. So that's just something that you can use if you're looking to take it that one step further.
For sure. So quick question here from Colleen, who asks, is there a time of day to send out an email that's better? Is there a day of week not to send? What do you think about that, Mike?
That's a really great question, and I know that some of the email platforms out there actually allow for you to satisfy that need without having to take the guesswork out of it. Specifically Rare.io, they will actually send emails to your customers. They take a look at the data, they understand when you're most likely to shop on Shopify or when you're making those sales, and then they'll send those emails at that exact time. So let's say, there's two different scenarios here. There's somebody who maybe they shop online during their lunch hour, so they're going to be getting that email around noon. Whereas some people who shop maybe after work, they make supper, they put the kids to bed, now it's around 6, 7, 8 o'clock. That's when that email is going to be sent to them. So one key thing that you should look at is your analytics, whether that's on Facebook or whether that's your Google Analytics, whether that's your Shopify store analytics. Find out when your customers are most likely to be online, and then correspond your emails to go along with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to just kind of piggyback on that, I think it's really important to know who you're talking to. So if I'm emailing and I know that my list is mostly work email addresses because I'm selling to businesses or something like that, I probably don't want to send over the weekend because over the weekend they haven't been checking their email. And when they come in on Monday morning, there's going to be a big list of 40 or 50 emails that are piled up from the weekend. Mine's not going to have as much impact.
Sure.
So if we're sending to somebody in business, maybe we don't want to send on the weekend because we don't think they're going to be able to read it. If I'm sending it to a consumer, maybe I do want to send it on the weekend because we know that they're free, they're probably looking at their phone, they're available. We want to send it usually mid-morning is what we go for when we're sending emails, so that it kind of has time. It's the most impactful around like 9 or 10 in the morning. But those are all difficult things to do when you're selling through e-commerce because people are in different time zones, right? So, if I send it at 10 a.m. my time, the email might not, or might go to somebody in Hawaii at 5 a.m. their time, right? So those are kind of difficult things to figure out. There's a lot of tools that can help you. MailChimp, Klaviyo, Rare.io all have tools to help you figure out the best send time for your particular email. So we recommend trying those, seeing how they work. There's not really a magic formula is kind of the unfortunate answer to that.
Yeah, your data is going to be your best friend, and maybe if you don't have a good database of information yet, you also have the option to split test emails. And that split testing is essentially sending the email with making one specific tweak to that email, so that way you can sort of judge and get different results. You could split test your emails with different times. Maybe try sending one at 10 a.m. and then try sending one at 10 p.m. You know what I mean? The more you play around, the more data you'll be able to collect, and the more data you have, that's concrete information that allows you to make those difficult decisions. And if you have that data and that information, you know the decision that you're making is going to be the right one.
Yeah, awesome. So good question, Colleen. If you do have any other questions, throw them in the chat box. We'll be sure to answer them as quick as we can. So I think we'll move on next to the abandoned cart email, which is a super important one over Black Friday. So if you haven't used these yet on e-commerce, if you're on a Shopify store, they're enabled by default, I think, or they're super easy to turn on. Crazy stat, 70% of shoppers that are online will abandon their cart around that point. So that means that of all the people who go to your store, there's a percentage who actually pick a product, and then there's a percentage who actually go to their cart page, and another percentage who actually go to the checkout. Of all the people who get so close to checking out that they're one click away from making the purchase, 70% of those people just abandon the cart. And so we need a way to get those people back. That's a huge amount of sales that we're leaving on the table, and the abandoned cart email is the perfect way to do that.
And you're probably wondering, why is that number so big? And I think we can all relate to that. And it's just things happen. Either people get busy, or you're shopping around. You're comparing products, you're comparing stores. Let's say you're trying to buy a new yam, and you go to the yam store, and then all of a sudden something happens. You got to answer the phone. Maybe something's going on TV. Maybe you're on Facebook. You forget about that yam that you really wanted, and it's gone. And that's just what happens. That yam is still waiting for you in your cart, and the abandoned cart is the best way for you to get that yam back into your home.
Man, that is a sweet potato of an analogy, Mike. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example. And so the abandoned cart email tries to get those people back. And it does this by integrating with your e-commerce platform. Again, Shopify has these built in, but MailChimp, Klaviyo, Rare.io, I think all have them built in as well. And what they're doing is they're sending emails to people who have abandoned their carts, and they're reminding them. I think we've all gotten these. You've probably gotten one too. You'll get an email after you've almost checked out in a store that says, hey, I saw you left something in your cart. You might want to check this out. Usually they offer a discount code or some incentive to come back. So those are super, super beneficial. And particularly over Black Friday, where we really want to maximize as many carts as we possibly can to get customers checking out and taking advantage of our deals. Those abandoned cart emails, their benefit can't be understated.
For sure. And you can actually take that single email idea with the abandoned cart, and you could potentially turn that into a series. So let's say somebody leaves their item in their cart, and it's 6 to 12 hours. Let's call it 12 hours. So you send them that email saying, hey, it looks like you forgot something in your cart 12 hours later. If they still don't respond to that and their item is still in their cart, you can send another email maybe 12 hours after that or 24 hours after that saying, are you forgetting something? There's an item in your cart and it's all ready to go. So give your customers as much opportunity to check out as possible. It's no sweat off your back to send one more email because it's so easy to do with these email platforms. You can even set that up that the abandoned cart email goes out 12 hours after, 24 hours after, 72 hours after, and you don't have to do anything at all. It's all going to be done automated for you with all these email platforms that we've talked about.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to hit you up with a few example subject lines. We should get these on the screen for next time. That would be cool.
Sure,
But
cool.
for right now, subject lines, some good ones. Forgetting something, question mark at the end. Oops, did you forget something in your shopping bag? Question mark at the end. Your items are waiting for you. You left something in your cart. Complete your purchase now. Again, I definitely recommend including something like a discount code in these emails. You don't have to do it. Again, you can test and see if it's working for your store, not to have a discount code included, but a ton of stores will include like a nominal discount, maybe 5%.
Absolutely.
And so it's, they're not making as much, but they're getting a ton of new customers they wouldn't have had before. So,
And customers are expecting that too. So, if you're not doing that, you might as well start implementing that too, because a lot of the time, a customer might actually purchase something or not purchase something. They'll add an item to their cart and then they'll just sit back and wait because they're going to be waiting for that email. And if they don't get any sort of email, they might not complete their purchase. But if they are waiting and you have that opportunity, send that email, give them that 5% code. What's that? It's just going to be an extra sale that you can have, and you're just giving. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're just trying to give your customers what they want. You're trying to be transparent. You're trying to be awesome. What's 5-10% here or there? If it's going to make them a happy customer, they're going to be coming. They're going to make repeat purchases from you, and ultimately, that one purchase potentially is going to turn into 10x times the dollar they're spending on that single purchase.
yeah, for sure. I think the last point I have about abandoned cart emails, just got a question from somebody. Wouldn't it take a ton of time to send these out? So the great part, we should have mentioned that before, all these abandoned cart emails are automated. So MailChimp, Klaviyo, Rare.io, Shopify, they all send out abandoned cart emails automatically.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah.
And so this all happens automatically. It's just a matter of you turning them on and then tweaking the content of those emails to work for your store. So really, I can't overstate how important these emails are.
And I'll just chime in to just walk you through the process of automation. As soon as you sign up for any of these platforms that we've talked about, whether that's Klaviyo, MailChimp, Rare.io, any of those, so what's going to happen is they even have these emails already set up as templates, whether that's the welcome email or the transactional email or the abandoned cart. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to open up the platform. You're going to go to the abandoned cart email template. You're going to click that, and then all you do from there is you fill in the copy yourself. So you're going to fill in the subject line. You're going to adjust the trigger, and the trigger is where the automation comes in. So anytime the trigger happens, that's when the email goes out. So I'll just do one quickly for the abandoned cart email. You set it up, you title it abandoned cart email, you set the trigger. The trigger is going to be 12 hours after this item has been left in the cart. As soon as a customer has left an item in the cart for 12 hours, the email is going to automatically send. So all the work you're doing is up front. It's the sweat equity. You put in the time to set up these emails, and then they're sent out automatically, and you just sit back and check them out. You can look at the reports. You can make adjustments after that. It's so easy to do and so worth it because automation, all it does is it allows you to market your products while you just save time so you can focus on some other aspect of your business.
For sure. So let's move on to the welcome email. So this is another super popular email series. Again, all automated by a ton of these different email platforms. I definitely recommend using them. So what a welcome email does is it basically thanks a prospective customer. Well, they're not prospective anymore because they just bought something from us, but we're thanking them for making a purchase or for subscribing to our email list. So the great part about these is they don't have to do one-offs. So a welcome email is like your introduction to the family.
Yeah, absolutely. Good way of putting it.
We're emailing back and forth, and I'm sending you some info on me. So the first welcome email usually is very, very standard. Welcome. We'll use Bold as an example. Welcome to Bold. Here's what we do. Here's where you need to get support, or here's where you can get support if you need it from us. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon. This is Mike Tracolo, 2 Scoops from Bold.
Yeah.
So that's what the first one looks like. And then we can continue through that welcome or that onboarding series using some offers for customers. So for example, if I saw a customer bought a pair of shoes from me and my store sold shoes, socks, and hats. So I sell that customer some shoes, I can enter them into a welcome series that tells them, hey, just so you know, we also sell a whole bunch of really cool hats. It's our lids department.
Sure.
And we also have socks, and they're made from fabric, and they're great. You can educate customers as to other aspects of your business through this welcome series. And it's a really good opportunity to kind of convince them that they've made a good decision by signing up for your newsletter or by making a purchase for your store.
Yeah, and I mean, the welcome email is really just, if you think of a traditional brick and mortar store, this is as if somebody's walking into your store. So you're saying, hey, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Check out our hats, check out our shoes. Here's what we're all about. Here's what you can expect. As Aubrey mentioned, if somebody's just signing up for your email list, you also want to condition them to know what's coming up the pipeline. So you want to let them know, you've got the inside information. You're going to be getting you'll be the first to know about our sales ideas. You'll have all the inside information, et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, within this, the welcome series, you can then nurture your customer. If they haven't made a purchase yet, maybe show some of your most popular products. Maybe recommend some products, using the data that you do have, recommend your most popular products and try and get them to finally buy from you. Because as soon as they buy from you, that's when you're going to send them a whole new email. This is the welcome email. There's going to be a whole nother set of emails that you can run for first purchase customers and go from there. So just make sure to welcome them, show them what you're working with, show them what they can expect, and the welcome email is going to go a really long way for you.
For sure. So we'll give you a couple example subject lines for the welcome email as promised. Welcome to, insert your company name here. Welcome to the family. That kind of reminds them that they're part of a family, they're part of something more. Nice to meet you, insert your name here. One thing we haven't really talked about is personalization.
Yep.
So the awesome part about a bunch of these automated email tools, and we touched on the major ones, is that you can personalize emails. So instead of sending the same email to every single person, you can personalize it with their name or maybe the product they bought or
that's very cool stuff.
Any personal information they have. And so to the customer, it seems like you're speaking right to them, as opposed to just getting a flyer. It's like getting a flyer with your name on it. And so that kind of lets the customer know that they are important to you. So personalization, great, particularly in the subject line, because it lets them know, like, oh, this is an email just for me. It's not just a big email blast.
Yeah, and it's so helpful, specifically with products as well. Let's say your customer, they made that purchase and they bought that hat. And they bought that hat. You send them an email maybe a few days later asking them how their hat is. They say, hey, I saw that you bought this exact hat. Did it arrive as expected? Was it everything you hoped for? Can we get your feedback? It's just allowing you to have one more touch point. But since it's so personalized and so specific, it really makes the customer feel welcome and that you're really looking out for them. If it would be one thing to say, how are you enjoying your last product? If you say, how are you enjoying your exact product that you bought? I don't know, that would make me feel pretty special, and that would make me think like this company really is invested in me, and I'm going to continue to do business with them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, it's the difference between getting, just a thank you card, for example. I go to a wedding, they maybe send me a thank you card a couple weeks after, and getting a handwritten note from the bride and groom saying,
exactly,
thanks Aubrey for showing up. I really appreciated that potted plant you got us. We forgot to water it. It's dead now, but we really appreciated it.
Yes, exactly.
Good example there. That kind of personalization, super important, and really, really makes customers feel like they're valued. So we talked a little bit about the first welcome email. We'll talk about some more stuff in that email series that we can send out as part of welcoming customers to our brand. So the next is the follow-up. So even though we send them a welcome email, sometimes they forget about us a week later. So we kind of want to remind them over and over again that we're a brand to be reckoned with, and we are one that is very important, that you keep associating yourself with. And that kind of gets that habit in their mind, right? It associates them with with something useful for them. And so following up with those emails is super important. So we would recommend, the subject lines are kind of the same from some other ones we've talked about. We can send them some special offers. We can remind them of other products that we have going on. Other areas of our business, maybe a cool new initiative we're taking out, or something related to sustainability. A lot of people like that. So we can send those 1 or 2 weeks, and then if we want, we can send another one maybe a week or two later, just to kind of remind customers we're here to stay.
Yeah.
You're part of our family now. So we'll take a quick question here. Another question from Colleen. Colleen coming in with the questions again. is there a way to have photos show up in the body of the email as opposed to having to right-click to see images when the customer receives the email? Great question. So it kind of depends on how you send, how you're sending emails. If you're sending them just through, sorry, I'm just going to grab a water from my production assistant here. Thanks, pal. So if you're using like Gmail, for example, sometimes it's difficult to control whether those images appear in line or not, and for that reason, it's a lot better to use kind of a specific email marketing tool. So MailChimp and Klaviyo, for example, I know have free tiers. Does Rare has a free tier?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Oh, that's okay. So MailChimp for sure. We use MailChimp in-house, and then Klaviyo as well. Both have a free tier, and the great part about these is not only do they send the emails for you, they also help to design the emails. So you can see exactly what the customer is going to see. You can preview it in a bunch of different email
that's really
clients.
great too.
You can make sure that it's actually arranged exactly as you want it to, because sometimes, dependent on the screen size, things can get a little wonky there. So we definitely recommend using one of those tools. They're really, I can't overemphasize how useful they are for getting the design right. So I would definitely recommend doing that. So we talked about the welcome series, we talked about the abandoned cart, we talked about the promotional email. I think the last one we're going to talk about today is the first purchase email. And this is kind of, we kind of think of the welcome email as when we're accepting subscribers on our website to a newsletter, and they haven't necessarily made a purchase yet. So the first purchase email is a little bit more targeted. So we know they've made a purchase now, and now we're almost checking in to make sure that they are satisfied with their purchase.
Yeah, and I think in a really simple way to distinguish the two, the welcome email, these are prospects. These are people who maybe haven't made a purchase yet. They've probably signed up for your email on your website. Maybe you ran a Facebook ad and they clicked on that, and then they got that 10% discount, whatever offer you've chosen to give them in exchange for their email, but they haven't actually made a purchase. So they're going to be in a whole sort of bucket, another bucket. On the other hand, the first purchase email, you're going to know that they made that first purchase because it's going to be triggered as soon as somebody makes a purchase. They're going to get a second email. So you've already kind of done a lot of the legwork. You've shown them who you are. You've convinced them that you've got a lot going for you. They've made a purchase. Now you're going to put them into a new email flow. The first purchase email, similar to the welcome emails, you're going to say thank you, obviously. A trick and a tip here that's very, very effective, and I've seen this happen time and time again. As soon as they make a purchase, you send them email thanking them. Thanks for making your first purchase. We really hope you enjoyed it. Just for making the purchase, we wanted to give you this 10 or this 15% discount, this coupon code that you can use whenever you want down the road to make another purchase. What this does is this gives your customers a really easy opportunity to make that second purchase. A, they've made a first purchase with you. B, they're probably going to make a second purchase with you. You never know. But giving them that option, that option to say use this gift or this discount to make a second purchase, it definitely works because they've made that purchase. They're probably pretty satisfied. Maybe they didn't make a purchase on a product that they wanted. Maybe 9 times out of 10 they're going to use that discount code later down the road. Maybe it's going to be the same day. Maybe it's going to be later down the road. But all you're trying to do is you're thanking them and you're going to get them to make repeat purchases down the road. That's not to say that when they make that second purchase, you're going to say, thanks for making that second purchase, here's another discount. You're just trying to get them in that funnel and in that buyer's mindset. So you're not, by no means, are you selling yourself short or you're just running a discount business. You're thanking them. You're trying to get them to make that second purchase because as soon as you make that second purchase, it's going to be that much easier to get that third, fourth, and fifth purchase. That being said, I'll just dive a little bit deeper on that. Let's say your customer does make that first purchase, then they make that second purchase. You can then set up automations for, let's call them VIP purchases or VIP customers, where if a customer then makes a fourth or a fifth purchase, or maybe they spend $100 or $200, whatever the option you want to put in there, they're then rewarded, or there's another trigger email where they get another discount. And this is more of a loyalties type of thing, where you're rewarding your customers for being loyal, and you're just allowing them to make it really easy for them to make those purchases. So I hope that wasn't too much information at you all at once. All I was trying to say is make sure to reward your loyal customers, because that way they're going to be coming back, and obviously your repeat purchases are worth a heck of a lot more than your first-time purchases.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, e-commerce is the same as any other business. It kind of follows that Pareto rule where 20% of our customers make up 80% of our sales, and vice versa. So 80% make up 20% of our sales. So when we get VIP customers that we know are loyal and we know are interested in our content, we want to mark them in our email system and make sure that we're following up with them and kind of offering them everything we have without overwhelming them. Those are huge opportunities. And as this relates to Black Friday, if they are VIP customers and you've got them in your system now, you want to be sure that they are aware that you have Black Friday sales going on. Because where are they going to go? Where's the first place that's at the top of their mind on Black Friday? If they're a VIP customer for you guys, it's you. So make sure to plan out campaigns specifically for those VIP customers if you have them marked, and take advantage of how willing they have been in the past. That sounds bad. Take advantage of how committed they are to your brand.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and yeah, it'll be a great opportunity for you and your business. Cool. So, quick question from Desiree. You guys are mentioning a lot of amazing things to do. Anything you say we should not do? Major no-nos.
Major no-nos? Appearing too spammy, and I think this can correlate to other things besides email, whether that's Facebook or whether that's social media in the same realm. Selling too much, being too salesy, saying buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, sending all of these emails, here's what's new, here's the... You're going to want to send nurturing emails as well. And these are just informational emails. Maybe it's going to be an email that's about your company, how your company started. Maybe it's a cool initiative. Maybe it's something behind the scenes. It's meeting the team. These are going to be these emails where you're not actually asking your customers to buy something for you. The way that I look at it is, and it's the same exact way that I look at social media, think of yourself going to a party. Let's say you're going to a Christmas party and you introduce yourself. You say, hi, my name's Mike. Do you want to buy something? Hi, my name's Mike. Do you want to buy something? Hi, my name's Mike. Do you want to buy something? Nobody's going to want to talk to you. But if you say, hey, my name's Mike. Here's a little bit about me. Here's what we do. Here's some of the stuff I did this weekend. Here's what happened last month. Here's what's going on this month. They're getting to know you. They're getting comfortable with you. They understand that they're not being sold to. And then take that opportunity. When you're being nice and you're being nurturing, they're going to be more receptive to you saying, hey, you know what? We've got this 25% off flash sale. Check it out. So don't be too salesy, I think, is the number one no-no, whether that's through your email marketing or whether that's social media in general. And I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think mine, to kind of tack on to Mike's there, is be conscious of how often you're sending. So sometimes it's really easy with email marketing if we see good results. If I haven't sent any campaigns for 3 months and then I send one and that campaign has great results and I get an 80% open rate, so 80% of the people who got it opened it, and then another 50% of those people clicked on it. Those numbers are crazy. I get super excited, and so I say, okay, I want to send more emails. And then I start sending my customers 2 or 3 or 4 emails a week or more than that. Email marketing is really this thing that needs to be balanced. So we need to be conscious and make sure that we're kind of getting the most out of every message that we send. It's a quality over quantity thing, and we got to be really careful with the quantity, because as we start sending too many emails, customers start getting annoyed with us, or they start kind of losing the magic they had before. And when they lose that magic, they unsubscribe from our list, and then we can't talk to them anymore. So we've got to make sure that every message counts and is really a good one for our customers.
Yeah, and a really easy way to distinguish if you should be sending an email. A pro tip here is every single one of your emails should have a call to action. So what that means is you are wanting your customers to take some sort of action. You're wanting them to do something, whether that's subscribe, go to your website, buy a product. So if you're sending an email just for the sake of sending an email that has no call to action, there's no direction, you should probably just consider not sending that email, because it's just throwing it up in the air and you don't know what's going to come from that. The only emails you should be sending is when you want your customers to do something, or you want them to perform an action. So kind of think of it that way too. Whenever you think, should I be sending this email? If there's a call to action and you think it's going to work, definitely.
For sure. Another pro tip is to split test your emails. So this is another, like, we keep explaining that you should use marketing tools, MailChimp, Klaviyo, Drip, Rare. The reason that we recommend these is because they have so many tools to make sure you're getting the most out of every single email you send. And one of the most important tools that's available to you is split testing.
Yes.
Split testing, if you're not familiar with it, it basically means that you're sending out two versions of one of your emails and you're looking at which one performs better. So this could be a minor split test, like maybe I just rearranged the subject line and I wanted to see which one got more opens. Or it could be a very major one where I'm sending out two completely different copies of emails to see which one is actually converting better. So that's another great way that you can test stuff out. You can do split testing, again, on things like the subject line, on the copy inside the emails, on colors. You can do it on the text of the call to action button is a really common one.
The time you send it.
Time you send it is another really good one. We got that question earlier about whether there's a perfect time to send an email, whether it's in the week or on the weekend or in the morning or in the afternoon. You can always split test that kind of stuff with a lot of these email marketing tools, and you can test, who knows, maybe I'm wrong. If you want to try sending an email at 3, if that's performing well for your business, that's the route you should go down, right? So always be sure to test, almost with every single email, I would say. And then it's not enough just to test, just to see which one does better. You need to learn from those emails and figure out why they're doing better. So if I am consistently testing and my emails at 3 are always getting better open rates, then maybe I want to make sure that I'm learning and I'm taking something. So why are they getting better open rates at 3 a.m.? Is there anything I can improve inside those emails that will get them even better? So always looking at that kind of data and then improving on every single email you send.
Yes.
And getting it to the top, I think, is super important. Cool. So that's kind of all we had on email marketing today. We've covered a lot here. Again, I would reiterate, email marketing is one of your best tools over Black Friday. Most customers, particularly customers who have purchased from you in the past, are getting emails from a whole bunch of different companies over the next couple weeks. They're saying, hey, we've got the best sales. You should spend your time shopping with us. Email marketing to those customers is your opportunity to shine your business and to say, hey, we're here. Here's what we've got going on. We talked about a bunch of different types of emails you can send. We talked about kind of the one-off promotional emails, abandoned cart emails, welcome emails, and first purchase emails. There's a ton of different options. I think if I were to leave you with one thing, it would be to automate as much of this as you possibly can before Black Friday. So as we mentioned, there are free tiers for a lot of these tools. We'll post some links in the chat after the live stream is done, but there are free versions of these. You can start playing around with automations, testing them out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and then you're ready to go for Black Friday because these services are going to do all of that work for you. So then instead of needing to spend your time emailing people, you can instead spend time on advertising and any other aspects of your business that you want to take care of over Black Friday. Anything else to add there, Two Scoops?
No, I think it's just, email, your customers have given you permission to talk to them. So definitely take advantage of that. Take advantage of the automation because there's so many tools out there and it's so easy to use. As I mentioned earlier, you can literally open any of these platforms out and they've got templates ready to go with the email titles. You've got your welcome email, you've got your idle customer email, you've got your abandoned cart email. All you guys have to do is try it out. So we've given you a ton of tools, a ton of information that hopefully you can use. Just go out and do it. Just if you're not already using any of these platforms, go check it out. All of them have free trials on them if they don't have a free tier, which is great. So play around, pick and choose what you want. it gets so much deeper than what we've talked about. There's so much more you can do with audience segmentations, with lists. You can import lists. You can import retargeted lists. There's a ton of you can do. So definitely explore the world of email marketing, but just having to do with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, focus on the emails that we've talked about today. We're going to include a link to one of the blog posts that we've recently written, and it's called The 9 Emails That You Should Be Sending But You Probably Aren't. We've talked about 5 out of the 9 in there. There's a few other really good ones in there. There's one that I think is really, really great. It's the replenishment email. If you do sell anything by subscriptions, you're going to know when that product is going to run out. So why not send that customer an email a few days or a week before that product's going to run out, reminding them that, hey, maybe it's time you refill your bag of beef jerky, or you're probably low on shaving cream. There's so many cool things you can do with email, so make sure to check out that blog post. And other than that, get emailing and have a really good Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday season. If you have any questions at all, write them in the comments. Thanks, you guys. Corey, Colleen, Desiree, Oliver, thank you guys for tuning in. We love when you ask questions because, you know, I don't know, we know as much as we know, but we don't know what you want to know. So the more questions you ask, the more information we can give you. Anyways, this is, it's been really fun, and hopefully you guys learned a lot.
For sure. So be sure to tune in to our next Black Friday University webinar, which is next Thursday. We're going to be talking about how to take your store global with multi-currency. Cool fact, I just knocked over the Ninja. Cool fact is that I think it's 80% of sales on Black Friday now are happening outside of the United States, like a ridiculous number. And so we're going to talk about how your store can sell internationally and can make sure to capture as many of those international customers as possible. So that's next Thursday, same bat time, same bat place. I will shoot you guys a recap email probably later today or tomorrow with just recap on what we talked about today, a couple cool links, a couple cool blog posts. I think the last thing I have for you is we have a blog post coming out tomorrow morning, which I'll include in the recap, on using shop codes as packaging inserts, which sounds completely unexciting, but let me tell you, we're getting it going because I think this is going to be a really great marketing tool for a lot of stores to use, and yeah, a ton of great opportunity there. So till next week, guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Reply to my email when I send it tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.